All right, hey everyone, welcome. So today we are going to talk about building something really, really important, an awesome workplace. And no, I'm not talking about bricks and mortar, we're talking about building a space where everyone, and I mean everyone, can actually thrive. So let's just dive right in.
Okay, so let's just kick things off with a big question for you. What do you think is the secret ingredient to a workplace that's actually great? You know, the kind of place you want to go to every single day.
Is it the free snacks? Maybe the ping pong table? I'll give you a hint. It is absolutely not the fancy coffee machine. I mean, don't get me wrong, a good coffee machine definitely helps on a Monday morning, but that's not the real secret.
The real secret, the thing that everything else is built on top of, it's respect. That's the foundation, and that's what we're really going to dig into today, because honestly, it changes everything. All right, so we're talking about building on this foundation of respect. But what does that even mean? Like, what does it actually look like in the real world? Let's break it down.
Okay, so here's the kind of official definition. A respectful culture is a workplace that's, and I quote, based on dignity, trust, and respect. And, this is the important part, where unfair treatment is just not okay. It's all about setting that high standard right from the get-go.
But to put it a little more simply, something you'll actually remember, just think of it as a no jerks allowed policy. And I'm not talking about some dusty rule in a handbook. It's a rule that everyone, literally everyone, buys into and lives by every single day.
So, a big question is, where does a culture like this even start? Well, it pretty much has to start from the top. So this next part is all about the blueprint, right? And the huge role that leaders have in making it all happen.
See, the best leaders, they don't just talk the talk, they walk the walk. They've got three main jobs. First up, they have to model that respectful behavior. They set the tone for the whole team. Second, they have to actually listen, like really listen to what people are saying. And third, they have to deal with conflicts right away, before a tiny problem blows up into a huge one.
And just so we're clear, this isn't just some nice-to-have fluffy stuff. It's a really big deal. Employers actually have what's called a duty of care to make sure their employees are treated with respect in a safe place. That's their job, legally and ethically.
Okay, but it's not just about the bosses, right? Not at all. You have a huge role to play too. So this next bit is all about your toolkit, the power that you have to help shape the workplace. This is about your part in all this.
And I want you to think of these two things as your workplace superpowers. For real. Open communication and conflict resolution. If you can get good at these, you can stop so many problems before they even get started. It's kind of amazing.
So what are the actual tools in this superhero toolkit? Well, we're talking about things like having a real open door policy, or regular check-ins, making sure there's time for private one-on-one chats. The whole point is to catch things early, Solve the small stuff before it becomes the big, messy stuff.
All right, so we've talked about leaders and we've talked about your individual role. Now let's zoom out a bit and look at the whole team. Because the strongest cultures, the ones that can handle anything, are the ones where people feel like they're in it together. And that brings us to the power of inclusivity.
And believe me, the difference between a place that's exclusive and one that's inclusive, it's like night and day. Exclusion, that's where you see unfair workloads, people's ideas getting shut down, little cliques forming. But inclusion, that's where you get real teamwork, where everyone's different ideas are actually valued. You get a real sense of community.
So if there's one thing to remember here, it's this. Inclusivity is basically the ultimate anti-bullying shield. It's a pretty simple idea, right? When we make a real effort to value every single person on the team, we end up protecting every single person on the team.
Okay, so we've covered the foundation of respect, what leaders need to do, and the tools you have. But now comes the most important part of all, actually talking about it. So let's get this conversation going right now with your group.
Your facilitator is going to take it from here, but I want to leave you with this question to get you started. How could your team show respect and appreciation for each member? And can you think of one specific inclusive thing you could do that would help stop bullying before it starts? Have a think, get ready to share. Over to you guys.